Evening, folks. Well, today was I thought it was going to be a really stressful day today, but then I remembered on the way into work, oh, shit, hang on. It's Christmas soon, so we're going to be watching Christmas videos all day, which is really nice. Um, I've had my nap, had my meal, chilled out, and now it's time to do another Games Workshop video. I've been looking forward to this one. This was I've got a few stories that I wanted to just touch on. But I'm actually running out of stories now. Like I went to make some notes before on things that I remember and things I wanted to talk about, and I'm into the last 10. So we will be passing over to your stories. I've got at least 30 of those now, from different people all over the place, from trade accounts to customers to former staff members to all sorts. So yeah, we've got tons of content to go through, and of course Reddit too. I've been reading Reddit, and some of it's been absolutely hilarious to read, hilarious and tragic at the same time. Um, but today I wanted to talk about two specific stories. Well, I'll say two specific. One nice story, and many really off stories. The overall theme of this video is going to be on negative Nancees. These are people. Do you know that Dave Chappelle joke where he says about people who want to cancel him? And goes, hey, I'm going to do an impression. And he does an impression of really stupid people. Do you guys know who that is? That's right, it's you. Right? So, again, I know you guys aren't negative, but when you hear about some of these people that have come into the store over the years, you'll definitely you'll recognize one or two of your friends. Put it this way, because everybody has them in their own little circle of hobbyists. So, the first one I wanted to talk about was Mike the Mohawk. We called him the Moaning Mohawk because that's all he would ever do. Whenever we were working in the store that I was not running, I was working in there. Every single Thursday, this guy was in there, and all he would do was bash Games Workshop. He would bash the company, he would bash the models, he would bash the rules. He just didn't like any of it. Even though he was a very good painter, he collected Grey Knights and a few other things, Tyranids, I think. And put it this way, I need to say this first and foremost because this isn't going to be as long a video as normal because I'm a bit tired and I wanted to get these. I didn't know where to put these stories, so I'm going to put them in this video and then we'll see it going into what we're doing. So first and foremost, at Games Workshop, people who have worked there and people who do work there, it doesn't matter. We're just like you. We're basically hobbyists. We're basically there to make sure that people have a good time playing the hobby. It's a great job to do that sort of a thing in. So what we don't need is you coming in and giving your opinions on Games Workshop constantly, okay? Because at the end of the day, this is why I implore you not to go in and start complaining at your local Games Workshop. They don't care. They don't care. They're counting the minutes until they leave at 5:30 or 6 o'clock or whenever it is, or on a Thursday 9:30, 10 o'clock, right? They are counting the minutes until they leave. That's literally all they are doing. They don't care about anything that you have to say about the hobby, to be honest. They want to sell you some models, they want to provide a space for you to play some games, and then they want you to leave. That person in that Games Workshop does not and will never have the power to change what Games Workshop does from a top-down basis. It just isn't happening that way. Ironically, somebody like me probably has more power than your average Games Workshop, even manager, right? Because they don't listen to retail at all. But they do sometimes listen to fans, right? They do if fans start voting with their wallets and sending in letters and emails and phone calls to head office saying, hey, this is ridiculous, stop doing this bullshit, eventually times will change. I don't put past Games Workshop to be very pig-headed and stubborn. It may take a while, it may take years, but eventually they will change. But retail managers and retail workers at Games Workshop, they can talk until they're blue in the face about how Blood Bowl's great. That doesn't mean Games Workshop are ever going to bring it back in any sort of a meaningful sense and have it played in stores. It just doesn't, right? It's not going to happen. Retail are treated worse than dirt at Games Workshop. When you have a look at the financials, when you go online, have a look. I might even post them in the description. When you have a look at those financials, you realize how far behind retail is to everything else that Games Workshop does. The mail order business at Games Workshop is absolutely thriving and is doing extremely, extremely, extremely well. The retail business, especially in the UK and places like that, is lagging behind. It's earning a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but it's lagging behind. The rest of the... If you think retail's earning them a lot of money, you have no idea how much money this company is making. It's ridiculous. Kevin Roundtree was paid upwards of I think it was like nearly a couple of million last year. You know, quite rightly so in certain aspects as well, considering how the business has been growing. But that just gives you a scope of how much money Games Workshop are making. If one employee, even if he is one of the biggest ones, is earning nearly £2 million a year. So, and by the way, I completely realise that, you know, compared to other industries, that's nothing. I realise that, but let's not forget, we are selling little plastic models at this company. And so, as far as I'm concerned, they are making bank and running away with the bank as well. So yeah, people in retail are not going to have the power to change anything that you want about Games Workshop. They just don't. They are people like you, striving to earn a paycheck, and they have the good fortune to do it, painting models, putting together models, and helping you guys out with your hobby. What they can't do is do reform change at the higher-ups at Games Workshop in Lenton, Nottingham. It ain't happening, right? So when people like Moaning Mohawk would come in and start constantly disparaging the hobby, constantly railing against it, there was one kid who came into our store, and he was collecting towel. And this is a part of the hobby when towel was actually really good. They were getting really, really, really powerful. And, you know, he would walk in and say, you know, oh, yeah, I've got my towel, you know, can anyone play me? And he's the only person to beat Mr. Skyhammer. If you know who Mr. Skyhammer is from my previous videos, then you'll know who I mean. He's the only person to beat that Skyhammer. And he did it through good tactics, and he got a round of applause, right? Jason was his name. He got an actual round of applause. So much so that we actually went and got him a little certificate with the blessing of Skyhammer guy, because he was a good guy deep down. And we went and got him a little certificate to take into school and be like, yeah, I beat this only guy who had a 75 and 0 record of wins. And now it's 75 and 1. You know, we did like the Undertaker's streak, you know. Anyway, Jason comes in, you know, he's got his towel, he's really, really happy. And all of a sudden, I hear Mohawk go, oh, like off to the side, you know, really loudly. I'm thinking, here we go. He says, Tau are so overpowered. They've ruined the edition. This is, you know, I bet you've got this in your army. I can't remember what he was saying. I bet you've got a Riptide in your army, don't you? I bet you got this. But he's typically doing that, you know, running the kid down. And the kid was like, yeah, I've got the Riptide. I just think it looks really cool. I love the way it anchors itself so it can fire all of its stuff. And Mohawk's visibly rolling his eyes at this. And I'm like, I am a person who's grown up in a family who, my grandpa, I'm so close to my grandpa because he doesn't do this, but every other member of my family, they're not interested in what I'm interested in. And the minute I involuntarily get very passionate about what I like, they start rolling their eyes and huffing and puffing, and they don't want to talk about it, you know. It's been great for my mental health over the years. So, you know, I know how that feels, and it feels shitty. I am literally talking about that meme where, you know, I can't remember what it was. I think it was Kermit or somebody, and they're talking about what they like, and somebody shuts them down and go, oh, okay. And then just move away, and they just go into themselves and shut up. And this is what I was seeing Jason do. So in the end, I pulled him aside and said, hey, why don't you come and do some painting at the intro table? You know, do a game, do painting and then some gaming at the intro table. Boss wasn't in, you see. So we could use the intro table, the nicest table in the store, to do some other games. So we had to go a quick 500-point game, which he duly won. And I swear, I shit you not, Mohawk was looking up and he's about to say, because he beat me quite handily, Jason, and I was only using Space Marines, wasn't using anything too nasty. And he's about to say, well, that's what you get for playing Tau or something of the gist. And I just looked at him like thunder. And he just, went back to what he was doing. And you would not believe the amount of these people who are in the hobby. The amount of phone calls I fielded when 8th was coming out. I once got a phone call from a guy, I cannot remember his name, but he phoned the store and he was raging. He said, I've just bought an army of Space Marines and now you're changing the rules. This is diabolical. This is ridiculous. blah 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 blah. And I said, okay, so what would you change? I tried to change subject. What would you change about the hobby? Because you obviously had not read any news. This is way before 8 came out. It was just announced it was coming out, and it was sort of revealed what was in it. And he said, oh, just larger Space Marines. And I said, well, have you seen the news, sir? Like, you're literally getting larger Space Marines, and he still wasn't happy. He was still determined to be annoyed. Determined to say that it was a disgrace and he was never coming back in the store again. And in the end, I was like, well, thank you for your time, sir. I wish you well at whatever store you go to, and I wish that store the best of luck as well, to be honest with you, and just put the phone down. But the amount of phone calls we got when 8th was coming out was frankly ridiculous, because it was a paradigm shift in the game. It was a paradigm shift with what was going on and how it was going to be played going forwards with certain factions, especially Space Marines. And, some Games Workshop fans, right, you can give them a pot of gold and they'll complain it is heavy. They will stand in the fire and complain it is hot. That's literally what they will do. Again, as I've said, everybody watching this channel, most of the people commenting who aren't even part of the community over on Discord, please go and join it if you can. You are all reasonable people. Even the people who disagree with me or point out mistakes that I've made in my videos, they're still reasonable people, very polite people. So you're not this person. I know you're not, right? Just by the way that we talk. But I bet you know someone like this. I bet you know someone like this, because they permeate our hobby. They really do. They are the glasses pushing up the nose. Well, I think you'll find people that, are welcome here. They are. They're welcome here, because no one else will take them. So, they may as well come here and be with the other bastards and broken things that are in the hobby. At least we can look after them here, and they're not going to go cause mischief anywhere else. Maybe they want to go to Magic the Gathering, I don't know. But in every single geek society, you get the moaners. You get the people who come in and they're determined to not be happy. They're determined to not like you. The sheer amount of customers that I had coming into a store, and I'd give them the normal spiel of, hey, what kind of models do you like? And they would look at me like I just kicked their puppy. They looked at me like, I swear to you, I would come over and say, hey man, how's it going today? You hiding from the rain? If it's raining? And they just look at me. So what kind of models are you into? And they would look at me as if I'd just come over and gone, hey man, do you mind if I just feel your bollocks? Like, literally the same look. It was just this disgusted look up and down, why are you talking to me sort of a thing. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure that behaviour is born out of them going into other Games Workshops and being dry humped out of the store. Literally, the Games Workshop employee comes over and starts humping their leg, trying to get them to buy it, something that will whack a KPI up or something, right? I was always at the bottom of my KPIs in that store because I didn't give a fuck about them. I just made sure I was a good staff member and the people there liked me, basically, and I wouldn't be that far behind. I'd be like 1 or 2 behind. But yeah, just, just crazy. Anyway, looking at customers, you get that all the time. You get that attitude of, don't talk to me, don't come around me, I don't want to speak to you. Dude, if you don't want to speak to me, why are you here? This is my store. So you'll fucking speak to me if I want you to speak to me. It's private property. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've come onto my private property at the end of the day. Right? I can close this store at a moment's notice and stay in here all night if I want to. Right? So don't, if you come into the store and I'm being polite, and I'm not dry humping you, I'm not trying to get you to buy anything, I'm just being polite, the least you can do is fob me off with a 1 or 2 comments and say, hey man, I really like Tyranids, so I'm just going to have a look at the Tyranids if that's alright. People say that all the time, and I go, yeah man, off you go, I'm going to be over there, but if you need me, just give me a shout. That's it. Right? That's all I would be after. Sometimes somebody would go, oh yeah, I really love Tau, but I'm not sure what to get. Listen, I want to run a really gunline heavy big mecha list. What do you have for Tau that will do that? Because I'm not really clued up on the rules yet. Oh, cool, well, there's this Riptide thing, and then there's this box set here, and there's this, and that would be fine. But don't just be rude. Don't assume that everybody at Games Workshop is out to just dry hump you out the store, because There are a lot of us who aren't. There are a lot of us who are just genuinely pretty lonely, especially if it's like a slow Tuesday. A lot of us are just like, oh my god, a human, and we'll go over and say hello. Because you know, I'm not afraid to admit it. Most of my sales in my last few months at Games Workshop were sales that were done in mail order. I'd get people to come in and order stuff at the store, and then they'd leave because they didn't want to be around because my trainers were always there, and they were really, really, really fucking rude. Because they were on tear in the Midlands at that stage for some reason. So I wasn't the only one either. There's a fair few of us. So yeah, those are the kinds of customers that you'll get at Games Workshop when they come in. Those are the bad kinds of customers. In my opinion, the worst kinds. I would rather have someone come in and misbehave, as in, have a bit of autism and act out, or whether they try and nick something, than somebody coming in and just being really rude and bringing down your day. Because at least if somebody nicks something, that's an interesting story. All I've got to do is log it in the till and it's gone, right? But if someone just comes in with just a bad attitude and is just, please, 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 for the sake of me, if you like my content, you like my channel, the next time you go into a hobby store, whatever it is, please make sure you go in and you treat these people as if, you want to talk to them, you want to hang out, because that's basically their home. If they're a Games Workshop manager, they're in there 60 hours a week, plus. That's basically where they live. And I wouldn't want somebody coming into my house and giving me fucking attitude when I'm just trying to do my job, right? It's not great. So, I'm going to take a little drink here, 1 second, before I get my next story. Oh, there is nothing better than ice cold cola after you've had something quite salty. No, that's not what I mean. So, moving on to a much more positive story. I want to tell you a story about Paul. Paul is my favourite, and he won't mind me saying his name because it means more business for him, and he's getting a little shout out on the channel, and this is a positive video. And everybody who works at Games Workshop in the Midlands knows who Paul is. He's a fucking legend. Anyway, Paul ran a trading account not far away from where I was. He actively, when the trade account opened really close to me that wasn't his, he actively complained. He actively sent letters to head office saying, this is ridiculous because it's impacting my sales, as in Paul's sales, and I sell Games Workshop products at 20% off. This other guy is selling them for 25% off. He's undercutting me. This is ridiculous. And by the way, poor Mr. Exile down the road, he's got to sell his at 100%. There's no markup on his goods. He's got to sell them at the top rate. What do you think it's doing to his numbers, right? They never got back to him. They never even fathomed him with a call, right? Anyway, there was this one time in Christmas. It was Christmas 2017. Yeah, 2017. Christmas 2017. A kid had come in, and he was desperately looking for a Drukhari box set. Now, this is the time when Drukhari were really taking off in 8th. They were really starting to get good. And they were flying off the shelves, and I had none available. I just didn't have any. He loved speed, and everybody who loved speed was getting Drukhari, because why wouldn't you? And they're still very powerful now. So, yeah, he loved Dark Eldar. He couldn't find any. He didn't... It was one of these families where they did everything with cash. And this happens more than you think. They just did everything with cash. I think their dad was a bricklayer or something, so he was paid cash in hand, and that's just how it worked. So they didn't really do much online shopping. They didn't really do much stuff like that. They're very old-fashioned. He comes in, and he's got £150 there to spend. And this is before Christmas as well, so he's basically picking out what he wants, and his mum's writing it down. And he came in, and he walked straight over to the Xenos part, of the shelf, and his face just dropped, like, like, it's not here either. And he just said to his mum, like, it's not here either. I just don't know what to do. Anyway, his mum came over and she was like, look, do you know where to get these from? And I said, we can do it online. And she said, no, I can't. I just can't. I have a feeling one or both of them were declared bankrupt at some stage in the past or something. But yeah, she said, no, I can't. I literally can't go online and get this stuff. It needs to be, cash in hand. I said, well, have you tried eBay? Because some people on there will take, you turn up and do it that way. It's a very slimy thing to do for eBay, but fuck them. One sec. Sorry, blowing my nose. Yeah, because eBay won't like you doing that, obviously, because But if you're willing to tank an account just to get a couple of things, then maybe, maybe it's worth doing. Anyway, she left, despondent, and a lad was despondent as well, not very happy. And Paul comes in later on that day, and he said, and I tell him about this kid. I was like, I feel really bad from this kid. He goes, and he says, leave that with me. I might be able to sort you out. And I was like, right, fair enough. Yeah, no problem. So anyway, a few days later, Paul comes back in with a big box. And he opens this big box up. It's full of Drukhari stuff. And I went, oh, brilliant, mate. And I said, I'll change the stock over. I'll because you can do that with certain trade accounts. Certain trade accounts are trusted, so you can actually get the stock from them and put them on your system and then put them straight on the shelf. I went to do that. He's like, no. These are just for that kid. If he wants to buy them, just for whatever price you want, you can sell them. And I was like, oh, right, okay. So I put them in the back, and I made a call to head office saying I've been restocked with all these things. I'm going to put them in the back, blah blah. And anyway, so that's a nice thing that he did for me, which I thought was brilliant. And he left, and the kid came in, and they bought most of the Dark Eldar from me. Well, his mum did anyway. I gave her a call, said, look, I've got all this Dark Eldar here for you, And I said, look, this guy's really helped me out, as in Paul. So after you bought this from me, it'd be really nice if your future hobby needs, you went and got your stuff from Paul. Because, I know I'm shooting myself in the foot here, but, if you can come in here, he can paint, he can get his paints here, but, I was kind of getting the proviso that they were not doing very well financially. So I was like, whenever you want to get hobby stuff, I would suggest you can get it from Paul. It's 20% off, So she came in, she bought it full whack. She was so happy. She went home, and I assume they had a really fantastic Christmas. So in the new year, comes round, and Paul comes back in. And he says, yeah, how did he like the Dark Eldar? And I said, well, go and ask him, he's over there. And the kid was sitting there, and he was like, oh, this is brilliant. And he's painting his Dark Eldar. And he was painting them like aliens, which I thought was really, really, really cool, because he spray painted them black, put the teeth in, the silver teeth and silver claws, and then he glossed it till they were really shiny, and they looked just like xenomorphs. So I was like, this is crazy, this is amazing, really good. And so, Paul was really, really happy, and he came over and he said, oh, I'm really glad that worked out for you. And I said, yeah. I said to him, yeah. I said, how did you get that stock? Because, I don't know anyone who's got any stock around here of Dark Eldar. And he goes, oh, no, they were mine. I'm starting a Dark Eldar force, and I bought them, and, I just refunded them and then brought them in here. And I was like, wow. So he hasn't lost any money. He's refunded them to himself, basically, and then come back and gave them to me. But that would have taken ages to do. I know the process of refunding that much stuff and getting it cleared through. Because if you refund 700 quid's worth of stuff, I mean, it wasn't 700 quid, but it was we were getting into the high 300s. If you refund that kind of stuff, Games Workshop will be calling you and saying, what the fuck are you doing? Why are we losing this money? So, for him to do that and field those calls and go through that and then bring all of his stuff to me on his own accord and say, look, here you go, was such a big gesture. And he said, look, I've got years to do the hobby. This lad's only got, we want to hook this lad into the hobby. We want this lad to stick around. He seems like a nice guy. So, if that keeps him in the hobby and I have to wait 6 months for my Dark Eldar, then I've got to wait 6 months for the Dark Eldar. And I just went, oh, well, cheers, mate, blah, blah. We went for a coffee at lunchtime and, shop the shit. We still exchange emails all the time. I'll try and get his permission to do a shout out for his store. I don't want to give that much information away just in case, he doesn't want me to. But yeah, legend. And those people are all in the hobby. They really are. There's so many of them who are legends who will just help you out. And not all of them are there to dry hump your legs. Some of us actually want to help you. Some of us actually want you to be happy and productive hobbyists and welcoming new people into the hobby, making sure that we've got a hobby to enjoy. And that's the message that I wanted to send today. It's a fantastic place to be. And I keep ramming this home, but it's a fantastic place to be. But there are a few stories for you. I will have some more coming towards the weekend or on the weekend. Until then, thank you very, very much for watching. Support your local Games Workshop if they're nice guys. Support your local trade account if they're nice guys. You may just get something out of it that you weren't expecting. See you later, guys.